What if the survival tips you've trusted your whole life were actually the real danger? You and your friend are about to find out the hard way. It starts simple enough: a survival show on TV, a bet, a backpack, and a helicopter ride out to the middle of nowhere. You're both confident. You've seen how this goes. You know the basics. Find moss. It points north. Snake bite? Suck it out. Bear approaching. Play dead. Except none of that is right. And in a real survival situation, being wrong doesn't just cost you points, it costs you your life. The helicopter blades fade into the distance until there is nothing left but wind and trees. You and your friend are standing in the middle of nowhere, backpacks on, staring at each other with the kind of confidence that only belongs to people who have never actually been in the wilderness before. You have no map, no guide. What you do have is a combined lifetime of survival tips absorbed from TV shows, camping trips your parents dragged you on as a kid, and that one friend who always swore he was almost an Eagle Scout. That is going to have to be enough. The first thing you need to figure out is direction. You have no idea which way leads back to civilization, and wandering in circles is exactly how people end up on missing person posters. But your friend is already on it. He pulls out his analog watch, holds it up toward the sun, and tells you with full confidence that all you have to do is point the hour hand at the sun, bisect the angle between that and the 12 o'clock mark, and that midpoint is south. The opposite direction is north. It is a trick he learned from a camping book he read once in 7th grade, and apparently never forgot. And honestly, it sounds reasonable enough. You have heard this one before. So you both align the watch, pick your direction, and start walking. For about 20 minutes, everything feels fine. You are moving, you have a plan, and the forest is actually kind of beautiful when you are not panicking. But then your friend reaches into his jacket and produces a compass he had been carrying the entire time without mentioning it, just to double check. The two directions do not match, not even close. Here is the thing about the watch compass trick. It does have a basis in reality, but it comes loaded with so many conditions that it becomes nearly useless in the field. According to outdoor navigation experts, this method only works reliably in the northern hemisphere, only during standard time and not daylight saving time, and only when the sun is clearly visible and positioned correctly. On a cloudy day, in dense forest cover, or at certain times of year, you are essentially pointing your watch at nothing and calling it south. And if you happen to be in the southern hemisphere, the entire method is reversed, meaning you would have been walking the wrong direction the whole time. You and your friend had been heading deeper into the woods for 20 minutes, based on a trick from a 7th grade camping book. You correct course with the compass that, again, he had the whole time. Feeling genuinely foolish, you reset your direction and keep moving. You make a silent agreement between yourselves that from this point forward, you will use the actual tools you brought and stop making decisions based on things either of you vaguely half remembers from childhood. Slightly annoyed, but still on your feet, you push deeper into the forest. The walk is long and the exertion is real, and after another hour of solid hiking, both of you are starting to feel it. Dry mouth, dry throat. The kind of thirst that makes you hyper-aware of every liquid thing around you. And that is when you both hear it. Running water. You follow the sound until you find a narrow stream cutting through the rocks, the water looking completely pristine. Clear as glass, moving fast over smooth stones, not a single sign of anything wrong. Your friend immediately cups his hands and drinks. And before you can say a word, he is already on his second handful, telling you that running water is always safe because the constant movement prevents bacteria from growing. You have heard this one too. Moving water, natural stream, no visible contamination. It passes every common sense test you have. And so you drink as well because your body genuinely needs it and the logic sounds airtight. But in reality, that logic has a critical flaw. Running water carries bacteria and parasites just as readily as still water does. The most notable culprit is Giardia lamblia, a microscopic parasite that lives in freshwater sources across the world and spreads through animal waste that enters the water upstream. You cannot see it, you cannot smell it. The water can look completely perfect and still be full of it. According to the Centers for Disease Control, even fast-moving streams in remote wilderness areas are common sources of Giardia infection, and symptoms, cramping, nausea, and severe digestive distress typically show up days after exposure. That is the real problem. You will not know you made a mistake until you are already deep in the woods with no way back and a growing crisis inside your body. The movement of water does not filter it. The clarity does not sanitize it. The only way to make wilderness water genuinely safe is to boil it, run it through a proper filtration system, or treat it with purification tablets. You had none of those things. You both just drank straight from a clear stream because it looked fine, and your friend did it first without hesitation. And now you are both walking around the wilderness with a potential Giardia infection and absolutely no way to know it yet. You continue walking, trying not to think too hard about what you just swallowed when the forest around you begins to shift. The trees get denser. The undergrowth gets thicker. The ground starts to feel softer and less stable beneath your feet, and you realize the terrain is becoming something wilder and much harder to navigate. You are no longer moving through a manageable forest. You are moving into something that feels significantly less friendly, and the light filtering through the canopy is getting lower by the minute. And that is when you both stop, because there is a sound up ahead that is not wind, not water, and not either of you. It is low and intermittent and deliberate, and it is coming from somewhere just beyond the tree line. You and your friend look at each other. Neither of you says anything, but you are both thinking the same thing. Something in those trees is alive, and it sounds a lot bigger than you. The sound resolves before you can process it. 1 second you are staring into the tree line, and the next second a mountain lion has stepped out of the shadows and is standing about 20 feet in front of you, low to the ground, its shoulders rolling forward the way cats move when they are deciding whether you are worth the effort. Your stomach drops. This is not a TV show. This is a real mountain lion, and it is staring directly at you and your friend with absolute focus. Your friend, to his credit, does not panic. He grabs your arm and tells you in a firm whisper that the move here is to crouch down, avoid eye contact, and make yourself as small and non-threatening as possible. He read this somewhere. He is confident. And you, completely out of better ideas, crouch down right beside him and wait. The mountain lion does not leave. It takes 1 step forward, then another, tail low, eyes locked. And then, because the universe loves testing exactly how wrong a person can be in a single afternoon, it charges at your friend, who, by making himself small and dropping his gaze, has communicated only one thing to this animal, that he is not a threat, and this is going to be easy. Your friend goes down hard. Here's the problem with that. The advice your friend remembered: make yourself small, avoid eye contact, do not provoke it, applies to certain animals in certain contexts, but it is the exact wrong move with a mountain lion. Mountain lions are ambush predators, hardwired to pursue anything that signals vulnerability, crouches, or breaks eye contact. Making yourself small around one is not a survival strategy. It is a dinner invitation. According to wildlife experts, the correct response is to do the opposite of what your friend did. Stand fully upright. Spread your arms wide. Make yourself look as large and threatening as you can, and maintain direct eye contact the entire time. You want this animal to look at you and recalculate whether you are worth the trouble. Make noise, yell, be a problem. And if the lion attacks regardless, you fight back. Eyes, nose, throat, and you do not stop until it retreats. You realize all of this in about 3 seconds. Stand up, throw your arms wide, and yell. The mountain lion, apparently deciding this was not what it came here for, backs up slowly and disappears into the trees. You pull your friend upright. He is shaken. You both keep moving. An hour later, you are both exhausted and hungry, and the forest is opening up to the base of a rocky slope. Your friend sits down on a rock while you go looking before the climb. And you find a few things. A cluster of red berries on a low bush that you do not recognize but that look harmless. A patch of flat-capped mushrooms near the base of a fallen tree. And some leafy plants along a shallow creek bed that look like something you could buy at a grocery store. You have no field guide and no knowledge of any of these things, but you have a system. The system is this. You have heard that if something does not taste bitter or cause a burning sensation, it is probably safe to consume. Try a small amount and wait. If nothing happens, eat more. It is a version of the universal edibility test, and it sounds airtight. A tiny bit of anything could not possibly hurt you. You taste the berries, slightly sweet. You taste a small piece of the mushroom, earthy, nothing alarming. You gather everything up, bring it back to your friend, and you both eat. But in reality, the taste test is not a reliable check, and it fails for a specific reason. Some of the most dangerous plants in existence have no bitter taste at all. Several species of the Amanita mushroom family, which includes some of the most lethal fungi on the planet, taste mild, sometimes even pleasant. The deathcap mushroom, responsible for the majority of fatal poisonings worldwide, reportedly has an unremarkable, almost nutty flavor. Your taste buds are not a toxicology lab. They cannot detect the compounds that actually cause harm. And the idea that a small amount is always safe does not hold. Certain toxins are dangerous precisely because they are slow-acting. Symptoms take hours to appear, giving you just enough time to feel fine and eat more than you should. Your body is not a universal detector. It is extremely easy to fool. About 40 minutes into the climb, things start to go wrong. Your stomach cramps in a way that doesn't feel normal. Your friend goes gray and tells you he does not feel right. He looks like he just ate something off a Fear Factor challenge. The taste test worked right up until it didn't. And now you are on a rocky slope with whatever you ate moving through your systems. You keep moving because stopping is not an option. The slope gets steeper, the air gets thinner, and after another 2 hours, the temperature has dropped sharply. You can see your breath now. The rocks are getting slick. The vegetation has thinned out to almost nothing. You are above the tree line, and through the low gray clouds ahead, you can make out snow on the upper ridge line. Your stomach is still not happy. Your friend's face is a color that does not exist in nature. You both keep climbing. The snow starts about 200 feet from the ridgeline and deepens as you climb. By the top, you are walking through several inches of it, and the cold is something you have to think about. And that is when the thirst hits. You have not had water since the stream, which, given what you know now, is not a bad thing. Your friend scoops a handful of snow and starts eating it like the answer is obvious. You say nothing, but you watch. And within 15 minutes, your friend is shivering in a way he was not shivering before. The problem with eating snow in a cold environment is something you remember reading once. And standing here watching your friend, you are about to find out if your memory is right. Here is what eating snow in a cold environment actually does to your body. Snow is around 32 degrees Fahrenheit when it enters your mouth, and your body has to spend energy heating it to core temperature before it can use it as hydration. That rewarming process costs body heat, which costs calories, which costs warmth your body cannot afford to lose when you are already cold and burning through reserves just to stay upright. Consuming snow directly lowers your core body temperature at the exact moment you most need it to stay up. It also forces your body to generate more heat to compensate, burning through calories faster and making the hunger problem significantly worse. Your friend, who has now eaten 2 handfuls and looks like he regrets every choice that led him to this mountain, is experiencing all of this in real time. He is colder than he was before he drank. He is hungrier than before. The snow solved nothing at all. The right move, if you have any heat source, is to melt snow first and drink water near body temperature, so your body does not spend energy reheating it from the inside. You have a small stove and tin cup in your pack. Forgotten until now. You use them. Your friend watches with the face of someone who has made too many bad decisions to feel anything. His base layer is also soaked. Cotton, when wet, loses most of its insulating ability. He is pressing a cold compress against himself. The rule that experienced outdoor people follow is this: if it is cold enough to wear multiple layers, it is too cold for cotton directly against your skin. Synthetic fabrics and wool continue insulating even when wet. Cotton does the opposite. It holds moisture against your skin, kills your insulation completely, and accelerates heat loss at exactly the wrong time. Your friend did not know this rule. He is finding out now in real time, and that is a rough way to learn a lesson. The only thing keeping him going at this point is forward momentum, and you are both heading down the other side of this mountain regardless of how cold he is. Coming down is faster than going up, and warmer. The shivering gradually stops. By the time the snow disappears behind you, your friend is walking more steadily than he has all day. And then, an hour later, you both stop at the same time. Because at the bottom of the slope, there is no more forest. There is a beach, and beyond it, open water, and beyond that, nothing but horizon. You look at each other. It takes about 30 seconds to agree that water is your only way out. You spend the next 2 hours building something that generously resembles a raft. Driftwood lashed together with the remaining contents of your backpacks, and significantly more optimism than structural ability. It floats. Barely. You push it out, climb on, and begin paddling toward open water with your hands, hoping that at some point someone out there will eventually spot you. Hours pass. The sun drops lower. You and your friend are lying on the raft, mostly silent, both starving and thirsty, and running low on any kind of a plan. The sun is almost down, and neither of you has spoken in the last 30 minutes. And then you decide to slide into the water, not to swim anywhere, just to look around and see if there are fish near enough to catch. The visibility is surprisingly good. Clear green water in every direction. A small school of fish. And then, past the school, something else. Something significantly larger than you. Moving steadily. Moving directly toward you now. It is a shark. Large, moving fast, and it is coming directly for you with no hesitation. And the first thing that comes to mind, the thing every movie and TV show has taught you, is to punch it in the nose. Your friend, who has somehow slipped off the raft and into the water beside you, is already making a fist. You have about half a second to decide. Here's the problem with punching a shark in the nose. It is not entirely wrong. Striking the nose can disrupt a shark and cause it to disengage. But underwater, your arm generates almost no power. Water resistance reduces a punch to a fraction of its force on land. You are not going to hurt this animal. And if you miss the nose and connect with the mouth, you have just put your hand inside a shark. The targets that actually work are the eyes and the gills, soft tissue, sensitive areas. A thumb driven into the eye or fingers forced into the gill slits will cause enough pain that even a shark will pull back. It buys you time. Your friend punches the shark in the nose with everything he has. Underwater, it is exactly as effective as you would expect. The shark does not slow down. It does not care. You make a different call. When it reaches arm's range, you drive your thumb into its eye and push. The shark veers, pulls back, circles once, and vanishes. Your friend is already back on the raft. You follow. You both lie on your backs, looking up at the sky, not talking. You have been wrong about almost everything today, and so has your friend. And here you both are, floating on a driftwood pile in open ocean with no clear plan for what happens next. Neither of you has any food. Neither of you has any water. No idea where you are. The sun is nearly down. The horizon is going dark. And then a white light appears above you, getting brighter, getting closer. You hear rotor blades. A rope ladder drops down onto the raft. It is the same helicopter that dropped you off. You grab the ladder and climb. The pilot asks how it went. Neither of you answers honestly. You came here to test the survival knowledge you had absorbed over a lifetime. The answer, it turned out, was mostly no. The things that sounded right were wrong. The things that kept you alive were the moments you stopped and remembered something true. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Trust me, bro.